Yeah, and then I went
Good to go. Okay.
It was like on the equator.
America is a poem by Allen Ginsberg. A poem that succinctly and eloquently encapsulated cinders of an ever-burning city on the hill. People live here. We bring our words to its capital and dare it to eat us alive.
Nice. Ow! Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Screaming at America Book Club. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the people who contributed to the book. Thank you for people who have arrived who did not contribute to the book and are participating in this collective poetic scream at America, or as Dave Eggers might describe it, a yelp. A yelp is when you, like, from the bottom of your abdomen out of your mouth, you make a yelp sound. So on the count of three, can we all do that at the same time? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, beautiful. There are as many yelps as there are people in the world. All right. So this is the book that we are here about, you know. All these people who contributed to it are incredible individuals, many of whom I know, some who are across the country who I have never met and may never actually meet, which is super cool to think about. Here's the piece that I need to say, the little piece of business. So we are having each contributor who is here is going to read their poem. If it's a very long poem, they're going to read 5 minutes worth of their poem, or they're going to read their poem super fast. Only the contributors that are here, save one who has specifically asked me to read, Peter Adler Ash has asked me to read their poem in absentia. Their poem is insanely long. It's like a 7-page essay. So I will be reading a page of said essay instead of the whole thing, but you are welcome to read it at your leisure. Those people who are not here today are welcome to come to this mic any second Friday and read their poem from the book. They can collect their copies from me personally. We will be going in order that the book is printed. So that's a thing. But thank you for laughing. I appreciate that. I am going to read the introduction, or rather the foreword. Briefly, I will not read it backwards because I have not the skill. So here's the foreword, and then we'll jump into the poets. Screaming at America, an anthology of dissent, started in jest, as a way of describing my own poetry. I would jokingly remark that I only wrote 2 kinds of poems, unnecessarily long poems and screaming at America poems, to which everyone would have a hearty laugh. The more I looked at my poetry, the more I realized that I had an overabundance of screaming at America poems. I decided to create a collection of poems called Screaming at America, from all the poems that I had written that took the United States to task. I had a belief that somehow a collection focused on this would somehow be successful. Then I had second thoughts and a different idea. Everyone is frustrated. Everyone has a bone to pick with the United States, aka America, even if it's something small. From this knowledge was born the idea of Screaming at America. I started by asking who would be interested in submitting to such an anthology. After people responded with an overwhelming interest, I made it official and began soliciting poems for Screaming at America. I was awed by the response. dedication, and quality of submissions. Here is the result of that endeavor. I am so thankful to know and associate with such incredible authors, poets, and creators. May your desire to make what is wrong right be fueled by these words. Welcome to Screaming at America, an Anthology of Dissent. And please welcome to the stage your first poet, Amy Herman.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Hi.
You so fly.
Okay. You? You. We have run out of time. Can I just go here?
Yeah.
Fuck the mic.
I didn't bring a condom.
Practice safe dissent.
We have run out of time for vowels. We know we let you come inside us all those times. And we know condoms are inconvenient to you. So we swallow, we inject, we rush toward the back of Walgreens whispering for Plan B. Sometimes we drive through state lines just to access care, just to take care of what you unapologetically leave inside us. We know you've had a hard day, and we shouldn't interrupt. We know it is best to be anodyne, ankles crossed, hair rigid, never relaxed, but have you ever swallowed a calendar before? 12 months, 52 weeks of complicit. I just want to listen to L7 scream their songs. The Butchies, that speech by Angela Davis where she articulated her rage accumulating decades of America's disassociation with democracy. That space behind my throat where I hide my hunting knife. Percussion against my organs makes me feel like I'm not the only one. Somewhere in my belly lives every riot girl song. When I'm alone with a man, I curl my mouth toward it, use teeth to rip me open, each verse piercing, demanding, spit plasma into the air to create an awakening in the sky. How many times will you keep trying to lock our bodies with deadbolts made of laws signed with blood and duplicity? How much more before we sew our silence into a quilt made from generational trauma and take back everything you have taken? We carry mattresses on our backs because of all the times you buried a piece of us in the springs. What is the opposite of apology? What is the antithesis of a smile stewed onto a face because no one seems to like women who are stoic? There's a story with creased corners and editing inaccuracies about glass ceilings and convention halls where we hoarded speakers behind our knees for more endurance. We led. We broke through. We didn't wait for an invitation. Yeah. And then we voted. And you kept elasticizing the square footage of rooms to push us towards the back. Dear America, you would not be here without the ones you keep trying to lock out. Dear America, we will create our own alphabets, architecture ourselves buildings and positions where we can lead. Dear America, we have run out of patience, out of breath, out of amnesty for you. Dear America, we will not sit down complicit any longer. Dear America, we are about to take up much more space.
Kicking off right, that was Amy Herman. And please welcome to the stage your next poet, Aspen Everett.
I gotta follow Henry. What the fuck? Alright. Well, hey, I'm going to selfishly use this opportunity to self-plug for a second. Because next week I'm teaching a class on geopoetics at the Firehouse. This is relevant because you'll notice a little attempt at locating within the poem. But part of this screaming at America is I feel like it's hard to find myself here. So maybe you'll hear that in the poem. But come see me next week and learn a little more. This one's called A Banquet of Bread and Broken Bodies. When I am alone, I wander the wasteland, the margins of capitalism. Burn scars and scrubland, bathed in the scent of sage, lodgepole, and bristlecone. I make my way among the stones, little rivers, deer trails, chanterelle dreaming. Am I heathen? Mostly, I walk sidewalks. Everything is private property. Wealthy neighborhoods are lit windows looking in. No need for curtains. There's nothing to fear from up there. What is life like with all the lights on? With a wallet that never empties? A paycheck that doesn't stretch? A bank account big enough to buy the dreams of America? When I'm alone, I think of America. Does she love me? Frontier mentality, everything is for the taking. We are the beggars of a bigger, better future. A banquet of bread and broken bodies. But all I want is to buy my kid a new pair of boots without releasing the demons of pain and panic from my empty wallet. Every purchase is a balancing act, and my child is growing too big, too fast. What dreams can I feed them? They've outgrown me. When we walk, who walks in whose shadow? America, is this your legacy? For me to be machine that feeds the fangs of colonization? History holds your venom and my white skin holds me like a tomb bound in brutality, as if this were the key to the open country. The lock is a land of ghosts that cannot let go. And privilege is a debt I can never pay back. I'm free to walk alone at night, to wear a hood like a halo without praying to the patron saint of police to make it home safe without being followed. Mine is a voice that cannot scream. I'm swallowed in thank yous. And please pretend poverty is a poet's palace. I am a porcelain smile. This is everything we could have hoped for. I have everything I could ever want. Is it not enough? America, land of bounty. I am another one of your wedlock children. I work for a living. I cannot afford to pay attention or write poems. I can only walk your wastelands. America, you are lonely. Let us wander a wilderness of lovers, going in different directions.
Let's hear it again for Aspen.
Here for John and the accompaniment too.
And let's welcome to the stage Yohanan.
They, ritual of capitalism. They meet in a block. They pound out a ritual on paper with product to produce and shares to divide. And they inscribe their names. They contract customers, clients, employees that the ritual requires. But the ritual keeps growing, adding numbers to numbers, taking numbers from the contracted who are being contracted, so they will increase their power by numbers. We are the contracted. They are the contractors. Did we consent to contraction? I don't remember. The ritual requires that we go to work to do a job and never ask, who do we work for? It's sure not we, but they are we too, just with more numbers. Just more numb. Soon, our Mother Earth will stop the ritual. The numbers will cease numbing. Then, what will they do? Then, what will we do?
Hell yeah.
Let's hear it again for Yohanan. And welcome to the stage, Anthony Sower.
Oh, stop it.
See you next Friday.
Actually, I really want to thank Joshua for putting this whole thing together. I think this is the first time I've ever been in an anthology like this, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
I hate this poem.
Focus.
Come on.
The reason I hate it is why I wrote it. The other reason I hate it is because I can't remember which mass shooting it was that I wrote it in response to. That's why I hate it. It's called Take Aim. The exclamations of "my rights," combined with some form of prophetic yet always unfruitful battle cry of "from my cold dead hand." These proclamations are made in dramatic and passionate fashion by my fellow countrymen in a way to suggest that their rights are their rights, as they do not apply to me, because I have not the same rancor, nor precisely the same beliefs. As if the rights of those who consider themselves my, while pronouncing themselves we, but who do not speak for me, are indicative of their superiority and subjugated rationality. Aim is taken at common sense instead of outdated reasoning. Aim is taken carefully with a high-definition photo-zoom telescopic infrared scope at the very liberties those who consider themselves we, but do not speak for me, believe they are defending. Somehow aim is taken at the values which should bring the we, bring the us together. Instead, the we, who do not speak for me, continue to feed the metastasizing cancer of contradictions, using words, using rhetoric, using lies to frighten, to poison, to infect, to gather in anger, to gather in hatred, to feign defiance, to follow the shepherds who lead their lambs to slaughter instead of pastures. A document considered by the we and the they and the us to be infallible, yet it lists its wisdom not as laws, but as those things which will be necessary to change as time and circumstance dictate, and why they called them amendments in the first place. Because to amend is to make better, not permanent. Because to amend is to imply future change, not permanence. Circumstances no longer justify the bill of sale, and my rights have become twisted, a distorted and broken mirror of the original intentions, one more maiming, one more paralyzed, one more casualty of being caught in the crossfire of willing ignorance and profitability.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you.
do it again for Anthony. And welcome to the stage, Jane Ripley. All the way up.
All the way up.
I have to, I'm not using the mic, but I have to put this
Got your son
here. And then it's Flag Day, everybody.
Yeah.
So, just wanted to say that. And this is part of the poem, so I'm gonna put that in a place of prominence. Thanks for being here. Okay. These earbuds may cause brain cancer. Can you hear me now? In the city, the homeless camps swept away by the cops on the regular. Can you hear me now? There's an active shooter at the grocery store. 7 are dead and 15 injured. Can you hear me now? Tribe indicted on 37 counts. Trump indicted on 37 counts. He might still run in 2024. Can you hear me now? Trump says he walks down Fifth Avenue, NYC, and can kill a man, and he can't get away with it. And he can get away with it. I just can't get away with it. Can you hear me now? The bees are less prevalent this year. Only a matter of time before the food chain breaks down and shortages begin. Can you hear me now? We don't realize it. We don't care. California will tumble in the sea. E. coli makes a salad of disease.
Yes, bring that shit up, Jamie.
Can you hear me now? In 50 years, an asteroid will strike the planet going to hell anyway. Can you hear me now? 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 You need some of this. Just toss it.
Thank you so much, Jane. Can you hear us now? Alrighty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's hear it again for Jane. And welcome to the stage, Virginia Schultz.
So I want to thank Matt and Black Market Translation and Poetry, or this would not exist. So here we go. Defund the status quo, I say.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm trying not to think about man's inhumanity to man, women's inhumanity to women, man's inhumanity to women, and women's inhumanity to men, and people's inhumanity to people, humans' inhumanity to humanity, and just about everything else. How we the people seem to be the only organisms that have this problem. What if every newscast started with a poem?
Yeah!
For answering the question, what were we thinking? They handcuffed babies at boarding schools, cut hair, soaked out languages and love, broke bonds of family or community, no touching, no hugs, no comfort, over and over, again and again. What have we become? Killing souls on both sides of the gun. Hearts ripped out by actions taken and received until we all stop feeling, stop caring, stop nourishing each other, and latch onto disparity, cynicism, anger, mocking, belittling, put downs web spread.
Right.
I say defund the status quo. Hold
Right.
up celebrations. In celebration, the peacemakers, the huggers, the sharers, the love agents. What if every newscast started with a poem? Headline: the grasses don't argue. Grasses grow today and die today and recycle themselves today, feeding and fermenting and folding themselves into soil. Again and again and again, without argument, without malice, grassing their only purpose. Nobel Prize worthy, I say, face our history. I say, defund the status quo.
Yes.
What are we doing? Pouring poison down the throats of our sister, the prairie, in search of ancient sunlight? Spewing unhealthy gases into the chests of our brothers, the sky, in search of ease and convenience? The young women end up pregnant or dead or addicted and unhoused, broken for generations again and again and again. Bridges too far and bridges broken, a fire from trauma, from insolence, from revenge, from fear, again and again and again. I say break the dehumanizing paradigm. I say defund the status quo. We take away languages and oral histories, sanctify the written word, glorify numbers, complicate facts, silence dissent, except here. What about the 25 words for snow? The words for love in 7,000 languages. I say speak up, speak out, shout love on the newscast, in poetry, in prayers. Object to the deep cuts of hate. Unassimilate. I say engineer equity. I say land back. What are we thinking? Who are we doing this for? What if every newscast started with a poem? Headline: all people relearning old ways. Economies rich from ceremonies. Humanity remaking the world. Gleaning the money scraped from capitalism that is used to support authoritarianism in the name of progress. Headline: youth are interested in seeds, in ancient plants to care for and pray for, to protect, in dropping the rock of love and watching it ripple, watching carefully for everything has meaning. What if every newscast started with a poem? I say the imp is in the details. I ask, how do we break the patterns of violence, the recent foundation of our economies and nations? I say defund the status quo.
Yes.
I say we need technologies of humility. I say refuse the orders of exploitation. I say bomb cities with love and affection. I say be mongers of heart, of plenty, of enough. I say the air we all breathe is one air. I say it is not the earth that needs saving. I say water is in all beings. I say forgive the soldiers and disband the armies. I say be like the grasses. I say there are dandelions on several continents. I say glorify phosphorus. I say capitalism is the Antichrist. I say more poetry is needed. I say receive the blessing of narwhals. I say imprisonment is not the answer.
Right.
I say the way we treat women is the way we treat the earth. I say smell the soil, lay face down in the dirt. I say create a pandemic that eats, breathes, I say the world we have. I say defund the status quo.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear it again for Virginia Schultz. Let's keep that applause going for Matt Clifford.
That was fun. Let's get ready to rumble. Thanks, Virginia. I hope that poem was for Funkitry, not about it, because we're doing our part to defund things, at least.
Are we defunding things?
Well, we're not making any money. So.
Only ourselves.
Good, John, you want a flute?
Hey, you want a flute?
You want a flute? All right. Yay. Flute, yeah. Oh, man. This one's more like speaking softly to America, but bitterly. There's a parade and a plaque commemorating the party, celebrating the end of the damn thing that will walk a sensitive line on its route from the cemetery downtown to honor the wishes of the dead and the living who waited a long time to express them and have been asked to speak gently and wait their turn if they can find it in their hearts that still work, but understand they took the day off and appreciate their sacrifice and continued commitment to the cause. So if we could just move this thing along, we could probably fit both into happy hour and get everybody home by dinner time for a good night's rest. Run-on sentences. Almost everybody is going to be there. Anybody who is still somebody. This has been hard for us all. The neighbors ate into their savings in public. The poor didn't say grace first. The bars have no sense of delivery service. There isn't even enough privacy for all the crying that needs to be done. At least the parade got a permit from the city. It will start at hour and can stop on a dime so the party can begin. It's what the sober would have wanted. Can we get on with it? The plaque has been sponsored by a local foundation established in the wake of the coin shortage. The public relations executive reads, "Can we pretend this never happened from those who don't miss an opportunity?" The crowd cheers. The losses they feared are gone. We look around at those who have won, what they have to say for themselves and how we must listen. This is the tallest story ever told. It's got so many sympathetic victims and unbelievable villains, the narrator sounds like a narcissist. But he knows how to hold a room. He knows when to doom and then to gloom, and soon this will be over. He knows exactly how much to say, to cut it with a joke, the distance away from a microphone where hands should go. The Grand Master you will end up voting for. A message on everything. Branded vibrations, copyrighted compressions. This frequency is registered for the parade. Get off the lawn. The reserved seeds were used to grow the grass for the grapes, for the ceremony in the garden where he will give his toast to the real heroes. We know who they are. Those who can wait to have a drink and put aside what they think for the greater glory. God is fine. Those who like enough art to know how to order off a menu. The food here is great. Absolutely worth the tip. The audience makes plans to come back. Downtown won't know what hit it. It will be bigger than summer and the championship. The epic of a generation. Franchises and t-shirts and t-shirt franchises. And it's all thanks to you, we did it. We wore the motherfucker out by never missing a payment and raised almost enough awareness to keep up with the interest. The market had a pretty decent year. They could afford a plaque and accept the parade that went with it. Today is a good day to party. He is still talking.
Yeah! Let's hear it again from Matt Clifford. Okay, just a quick point of business. So I can kind of can't hear you, and I'm kind of laughing at it at the same time. Quick point of business. So printing these books did cost money. Me personally cost money for me. For those who, as already said, for those who contributed, you have a free copy, your choice of typo or not typo. For those who were not contributing to the text itself, books are sold for $10 until I defray the cost it took me to print, not the cost of my time. I donated that. And then I want my goal, my hope, my dear hope, is that we get to a point where there's so many sales of this book that I can give a retroactive honorarium to each and every single person who is featured in this book. And I hope for that honorarium to be decently sized and helpful in their future endeavors. Once those honorariums are given, this is crazy, like, I don't know, millions of book sales. We will all collectively, as a group of Screaming at America, vote on a nonprofit to contribute the funds to. So that's where the money is going. That is my plan for the money. That is my hope and my dream. Thank you. So I am going to read part of the poem from Peter Adler Ash. They asked me in absentia to read a portion of their poem. They wrote an incredibly eloquent and beautiful poem essay. I strongly recommend you check it out if you have a copy of this book, and when you get a copy of this book, to check it out. It's extravagantly beautiful and well researched. But I'm going to read just a portion of it and hope to do some of it justice. So here we go. Distance of Self to America, a recapitulation of the ultimate acceptance that is illusion, misty obfuscations of Gringolandia. That's the title, by the way. America, the system, the forlorn half-truth, misbegotten false reality. To disengage from this seemingly all-encompassing system is to re-engage with the forgotten self. Be more forgiving with the self. The other subconscious motivations and dopamine circular cueing, which is a new word to me. Retention of stimuli as induced by plant medicine, pandemonium, parsimony per se. Except routed through a deeper source to peregrinate around the Americas as an ancestral memory. Future repast response to the idea of the states as America, in and of itself. Or might it be that the reality beyond the textbook Amerigo Vespucci was simply a scion of a notable family from the Assassin's Creed games with Ezio, and not a facsimile nor approximation of anything truly real? Is real defined by our surroundings? By the lies they force us to swallow whole and convert into our sense of reality, collective and hyper-personalized, seemingly individualized delusions. I called it the chain of illusory perceptions for some years. You take charge of a perception, realize its illusory nature, and go right back to deluding yourself all over again. Thank you, Peter, for those words. I hope to get this recording to them properly. So the next poet is in transit and should arrive hopefully sometime around after 8 o'clock.
Margarita?
Yes. She's on her way. Okay. Well, we actually only have one poet left who is here. So, please welcome to the stage the gentle giant, Jethro McClellan. Yeah. Thank you.
Reading in America is something I can no longer do. I've been whispering to the entire planet for so long, and my vocal cords have dissolved. And then one, maybe a tiny bit related to the theme, called Destiny. Love wakes at dawn, walks through strong and golden day. Each street corner, a crimson ghost, finds its way to dusk, then to nightfall.
Thank you, Jethro. We're still awaiting one poet who is in transit on their way. Actually, that's a very good point. So for those of you who are here during the workshop and are not featured in this book, if you would like to come to the mic while we wait for the incoming poet, we'll start with Cicada.
America is terrible and horrible and no good. And I still want to see the Rocky Mountains first rise up from the flats out on I-76 coming from Sterling. America is terrible. We slaughtered the bison. America is terrible and horrible and kills people with overwork and bombs and cops and redlining and kills people with propaganda and cars and America is terrible. And I still get to see each spring the blue columbines and prickly poppies and Dame's Rocket and Larkspur and Lupin and America is terrible, and I have running water and food from the food bank and electricity and a roof and internet and a place to garden. America is terrible and no good and very bad. America has corporations and capitalism and circumcision. America has olive oil and peaches and bananas and apples and pistachios and almonds and prickly pear and corn and soybeans. And America has laws about water rights. America has laws about trash, about living with other people, and about who we can have sex with and how. That's kind of where I topped out there.
Thank you, Cicada. Is anyone else from the workshop interested in jumping up here on the mic? Please welcome to the stage, Anthony.
Self-selections. Someone once asked me $30 for a threadbare t-shirt. I laughed because I trade those t-shirts with my friends like Pokemon cards, then wear them until their death, which comes for all things. I am the life which comes for all things, the bloom nascent in the decay, and so is everyone and everything. Seek purity, and you will never find it. Sit in the mud, be the lotus, care for your community so that it may care for you.
Here for Anthony. One more time. Is there anybody else from the workshop? Anyone at all? Welcome to the stage, Kai!
All right. On anger. Shame, the inherent feeling that I am bad. A terrible feeling, a great tool. When my intrusive thoughts tell me that I am bad, I am the reason so-and-so is depressed. I am the problem. If I'm the problem, I can be fixed. If I can be fixed, that means that there is a solution. If there's a solution that I don't have it, and it's out there, then the solution to the problem that is me is out there, and then I can't be trusted. If I can't trust myself, then what am I capable of? Animal cruelty? If I'm capable of animal cruelty, then I am certainly capable of dehumanization. And I must be capable of dehumanization if I'm able to participate in this capitalist society. The dollars in my pocket come from my overworked, underpaid coworkers in India. My coworkers have explained to me that despite being very brown, their marriages are arranged based on Eurocentric beauty standards. And I thought I had body dysmorphia. But oh, one of their goddesses is now 4 shades whiter. We share in shame for being problems that can't be fixed, because the solution does not exist. There is no solution to the shade of our skin or the sex of our body. Perhaps, just perhaps, we are the solution. The solution to the problem outside of ourselves, the problem that tells us we are less than human if we don't fit a very narrow gap of existence. May I propose that the solution to shame is humanity?
Holy crap! Let's hear it for Kai. I think it's the first time that I've heard your poetry.
Yeah.
And you absolutely destroyed. That was incredible. That was really good. All right, do we have any other, if we don't have other poets from the workshop who are willing to share their workshop stuff?
I'll read it again.
New poets. Oh,
yeah.
A new poet has raised their hand. Welcome to the stage, Olivia.
Tall people. Joshua, thank you so much for putting this together and putting this anthology together. It's amazing. Come on, you can do it. I started writing a poem to contribute to the anthology, and so selfishly, I really hope that you do this again, and this becomes this was just the first one, and then in a year or two or whatever, there's a version 2, screaming at the world, whatever. So selfishly, I really hope you do. I couldn't get it done in time, and it's still pretty rough, but this is what I was going to contribute. My grandmother slaps my hand away from the doll. Quit it. That don't belong to you, she says in her heavy, rural North Carolina drawl. I pout, but I don't cry. My grandmother spent so much of her precious time on this earth creating beautiful things for other people. She made countless outfits that I wore to church, to school, to special events. She made hundreds of exquisite quilts. She made thousands of Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy and Sock Monkey dolls. Beautiful pieces of art that float in homes that I will never know. She made diaper bags and handbags and countless useful things for mothers and families from nothing more than thread and fabric. She was born in a time of terrifying scarcity, to die in a time of incredible abundance. My brother will never be who he was, or who he could have been. I don't know when was the first time that he died.
It may have been in the heat of Afghanistan, when he first shot a gun at another living being. Or maybe it wasn't until he knew for sure that he'd actually killed somebody else with his bullets. Or maybe it was watching his brothers, bonded for life, literally be blown to pieces for a cause full of lies, for property and greed. Woo! There is no property that is worth any human life.
Yes.
I know he died 4 times last year. Heroin stole his life, stopped his heart 4 different times last year. And I thank God every day someone was there to resurrect him. Even if that someone was the same person who dragged him into that hole with her. And I am grateful that my grandmother will never know what the war has done to her grandson.
I will edit another anthology just for that. Morgan, did you wanted to jump up here?
Eric's?
Read Eric's?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Please welcome to the stage Morgan reading Eric Fishman's poetry. Give us a second while she finds it.
Where is he? Do you know?
No refunds, no returns. Because freedom ain't free, motherfuckers. It costs $20, a brisket sandwich, and a prayer to the golden calf. It costs a junior bull rider's rib cage if he's lucky, his testicles if he's not. It costs 10% off at Rosie's Pizza with your ticket stub and a high school senior's ultimate sacrifice. Jesus died for the flag, and Dr. Pepper died for your sins. I know, he's Eric Rahanan Fishman, bless his existence on this earth. This silver cross was brought to you by the Spring Resort and Bank of Colorado. Yes, this is my first rodeo. No, I don't want your blessing. What part of Europe are you from? New York. Freedom costs a burnt offering on a square-top mountain and a buckshot in the ass. It costs marrying the wrong person. It costs angry silences and controlling looks, hands clasped between your knees, eyes forward. Freedom needs your red cash and your green blood. Freedom needs your red cash and your green blood because it costs a rawhide snake skin, a Kid Rock belt buckle, and live ammunition. Freedom isn't red, white, or blue sunset. Freedom is emphasis on the white. I've never been to America before. I'm an East Coaster. I'll take an Emerson Lake and Palmer with a jalapeno on the side of the Ring of Fire. Woo! I know. Look down when the Star-Spangled Banner is talking. Freedom needs a sugar daddy. It needs a scapegoat. It needs your undivided obedience, your self-respect, and your $10 more for the post-rodeo dance. And all it'll cost you are your cold, dead hands. Dead hands. Eric
Let's hear it from Morgan's rendition of Eric's poem. And please welcome to the stage, Tatum Ward!
I'm also ditching the mic. Fuck the mic. Still no condom. This is from the workshop. Thank you, Joshua. According to the 2022 census, 105,485 people live in the city of Boulder. For the last 5 years, I've been one of the ones dragging down the median income. I'm doing my part. In this whitewashed room, Joshua, I find you. A one-person pride parade. Together, we navigate whatever shit show we've landed in. Best friend, I will follow you up until this upcoming apocalypse. I will be beside you when we need to relive Stonewall. You will throw the first brick, and for the first time, it will come from mouth and not fist. Joshua, I know you will be the best cook when we eat the rich. When the cost of living has driven us back onto the streets, the forced to starve artists having burnt all the buildings we never had the chance to own, the last fiscal shelter we had was a taxpayer-funded Longmont Library's Pride Parade. Joshua, you will be the last burning building, the last guiding light, the Boulder Star, solar-powered, screaming-powered, anger-fueled, a rescued revolution made of love, carrying us to the end.
I love you. Oh gosh. Should I keep it together though? I mean, really?
Let it
Cry it out.
Turn it down.
May I read a poem? Oh, jeez. Decibel. Did the acoustics of the world change? I came here expecting treble and received bass so deep it's breaking my femur. I'm not confused, I'm angry. Please don't come to me with small things. I've seen galaxies collide. I'm alone in this broken crack house. The spiders on the ceiling have more than enough flies. Am I delusional or am I too quiet? T.S. Eliot is screaming into the void. Why are there only two options for a white dwarf? Explosion into a supernova or black hole. Neither leave much behind. Helicopters are taking up enough space to crash into each other. We didn't come here for a polite concert. We came here to rage and smack mescaline, but now you're telling me the party is over. I guess we'll be on our way. I'm walking into the desert for saguaro, water. I have a CD Walkman. I'm listening to Rage Against the Machine. I don't recognize these lyrics. Did the acoustics of the world change? Thank you. Does anybody have a time check? Because the last poet's supposed to...
8:15.
Oh, hello.
Hey, look, another poet.
Look, a poet that's in Screaming at America. Would this poet like to read their poem from Screaming at America? Welcome to the stage, Lee Frankel Goldwater.
So jet lagged, I just got off a 14-hour flight. And I walk in and Joshua's like, and you're on!
You got this.
I don't even know what page it is. I'm like, what's going on? 71. 71. It is. Wow. Hey everyone, what's up? Thank you.
Hey!
All right. I think I'm gonna do it without the mic. So I actually wrote this one a little while ago, during just when Orange Face won his first thing. And I hope it's only a first, but I'm getting skeptical. And it's called My Name Is Not Donald Trump. My family came to America escaping a hateful Europe. And this hate We may forget, but can never forgive. Though I have hidden behind my white face when necessary, become a chameleon from group to place without question. No yellow star on my lapel. No pure race to chase me. No religion on my passport. My name is not Donald Trump. My name is Lee, a Jew from the Bronx. As a kid, I was bullied for being fat. As a grown man, I'm still scarred, wishing I could look like JB so I could be loved, striving to fit in, discovering how to be. But now I wish I could wear my imperfections on my face, strip naked with nothing but hope and naivety, wear my body as a shield and my soul as a living, raging fire. Were Jesus only right alongside all of our prophets? Were sin a word we could purge from our vocabulary? And one's body were self-evidently their own choice? Were my dreams yours and were your mine? I dreamed that Tucker Carlson and Jon Stewart were best friends. That trickle-down economics actually fucking trickled. That Christmas and Ramadan and Hanukkah feasts were served at the same table. That we could live each moment knowing we share 99.999% the same DNA. That we saw not skin but soul as we looked upon each other.
Yes.
And the demons in our world were more imagined than our philosophies. I dreamed that peace meant the same to us all. And that we all wanted it.
Yeah.
Because I was taught that women are equal to men and they thems. That black Americans have as much right to life as anyone.
Yeah.
Sexuality belongs to the body, living that experience, and we all deserve a fair wage, an education, a home.
Yes.
Though I am ashamed. For I too have shamed those with ideas different from mine. Forgotten that ignorance is real in each of our lives. Embraced those suffering in one way and avoided those suffering in another. Lied to myself more times than I've lied to anyone else. Forgotten we are all human, and inside a piece of our souls are shared. I call out a plea now to the chameleons, the armchair change makers, those donating to Planned Parenthood and Southern poverty law, thinking the job is done. The fight will go on. We will get through this. These acts are beautiful. The thoughts are kind, but they too are a lie. Because so many of us cannot hide behind a pair of green eyes. And to those always on the front lines, I ask you not to cast blame, but to teach us how. To turn lives of quiet effort into powerful cries. We do not have time for distractions. Our enemies are not the other side, but the rose-colored glasses across our eyes. Our paths forward cannot be marked by a fear of our differences, but point openly to all shades of human manifestation. And I pray that we can become one if we try, and accomplish more than simply survive. So I ask you all to cry as I will cry. My commitment is to discover what I do not know. And when I have learned enough, to become a guide. To love, to cry, and to heal with those who will let me. And fight with my body where I am needed most. To remove my blinders at every turn. Heeding signs of complacency as our enemy, and I will continue to pray that we can come together, not as divided nationalities, but as one humanity. No more, no less, a plurality in unity, a dream.
Let's do it again for me. That's quite impressive for getting off a 14-hour flight. I don't know if I could. pull up a hotspot to do that. So I'm gonna read another poem from the collection from someone who's in absentia. Their name is Zay Caitlin. I met them down at the Mercury Cafe. They are an incredible slam poet, non-binary queer individual, fellow non-binary queer individual. And it's for them that I'm reading this poem. I know you are reading this poem exhausted, worn out by life that keeps getting its next fix of good living off of you. I know you are reading this poem soothing the nameless, visceral ache that has taken up permanent residence in your chest. I know you are reading this poem in secret, with just the smallest hope that someone will notice your absence and go looking. I know you are reading this poem alone, in a place where too many people have uprooted their weak commitment and left. I know you're used to backs exiting out of a splintered door that you stopped locking years ago. The sight of retreating footsteps is not unfamiliar, like the echoes of a false love that always seems to return to your heart. I know you're reading this poem like it's the only thing left in the world, and maybe in this moment it is. Maybe you've been waiting for this. Maybe you didn't have a voice because no one was listening. Maybe now you can speak. I know you are reading this poem, society's hand